Hey, okay, I've read like the first 8 chapters of this book and I'm really enjoying it. I'm gonna read a little bit of the back because the synopsis, okay? Giselle of Steinland was born without color, albino. To add to this curse, her betrothal to Prince Jurek of Kronga ends in his death and starts a 10-year war her father is determined to win, even if it means bringing her out of hiding to do it. Now the savage Krongan war commander, Bloodless Kristoff, seeks the hearts of the entire royal family, especially Giselle's. Desperate, her father agrees to another alliance that involves her marrying an old brute of a king. Unwilling to be the sacrificial lamb, Giselle goes on the run. Thrown into the center of a battle between 3 kingdoms, she finds herself fighting for her life and the right to be truly loved. Let me just tell you, immediately, I'm really enjoying this story. I don't like the governess. I don't want to like her, but I feel like she has a lot of information and she's apprehensive to share Giselle's history, okay? There clearly is some information that folks ain't telling Giselle, okay? Giselle is just trying to figure this out. She's an innocent stand-byer in her own life. Like, she's seeing everyone else make decisions for her. She has no say in anything, and she feels incredibly desperate and hopeless. And of course, there's a man, because there has to be a man, okay? So we got the man that is around, and he is a friend. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about this young man. I don't particularly like him. It's giving very much shenanigan. It's giving very much I'm ambitious and I'm going to use her feelings so I can get down the road to get where I need to go. And I'm like, Giselle, girl, get it together. She can't, because she's been hidden away for years and years, you know, and now she is forced into another marriage. And let me just say, the first one, kind of all I'll say. I don't want to say too much, you know, because I don't want to get into spoilers. I like the political scheming that's happening in this story. I really like how vivid, like, it's very descriptive. The writing is very vivid. I'm right here in this world. I feel the coldness of the people. I feel the intensity of everything that's happening is very much in the forefront of the story. I do like that Giselle prays and she has this relationship with the Lord, and she's really fighting to have some semblance of control in her life. She's very much a victim of the situations that she's been born into. The girl can't help that she's albino, you know? And I find that very tender moments with her father. Maybe it's not that many though. It's not that many moments. Very curious to see how she's going to grow as a character. How is she going to navigate? I feel like there's a lot of twists and turns and surprises that are coming. I feel like the setup for that is definitely going to pay off in a really great way. And I'm excited about where this story is going to go. The audiobook is fantastic. I'm having a fun time reading this. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to be back for more thoughts because I feel like it's about to take off. Because where I stopped at is where the synopsis stopped at. So we about to find out. So, hey, I am on chapter 32, so I have like a quarter of the book left, and I'm really enjoying it. I still don't trust Ryder as far as I can see him, okay? I know if you've read this, you know you're like, girl, Ryder, I'm predicting, let me predict, okay? That the person that rescued Gisela is not who he said he is. I think it has a lot of implications about who we thought he was in the beginning. I will say though, Gisela, at first I was like, girl, you know, I need you to read the situation. You know, Gisela is very naive in the beginning of this book, and she's very trusting. And as she progresses in the story, you actually see her bloom, you know, kind of rediscover and embrace more of who she is. And she's on the run, and she's trying to figure out what the truth is and how does she fit in the narrative. Three kingdoms are trying to track her down, and what is she gonna do? One of my favorite characters that I've encountered in the story is Hilda. I absolutely love Hilda. I love her character. I love the diversity and representation in this book as well. And how Hilda is clearly like a Black woman. Like, very rarely I see that kind of representation in a story like this. What she brings to the story is so beautiful, and I really am enjoying that as well. I like that she is so smart and that she's very observant, and I think that was more out of necessity. I don't like her governess. I don't know if I told y'all the last time. I like she was hiding a whole bunch of stuff. Is the deal with the governess? Like, what's the deal with her? I'm definitely enjoying it. I like a 3.5, 4-star for me right now, and it's so good so far.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Okay, 3.5 star. Who? What? Girl? What? I knew it. I said, girl, if you do that, if you do what I think you gonna do, Rebecca do, and she did. She did. Ooh. This is so good. Yes.
The following Thursday.
Guess who's big? Unicorn Chrissie here. Welcome to the end of the vlog. So, ooh, 5 stars. You already know. This was actually really good. I really enjoyed reading Heart of Red, Blood of Blue. The hype is really the hype. We'll say, like, the first 60% of the book, I was a little like not as invested, but when the twist happened and the twist twisted, I was like, oh, okay, this is 4.5, 5-star level. The fantasy elements, there's no magic here that happens, but it's set in a fantastical world, and I like that. I like the diverse representation of albinism, white albinos and black albinos, and the love and the high stakes. Nobody is safe. I really enjoyed that. And so this is a standalone, so it's not a high commitment either, but I highly recommend this. This was such a fun time. I see why everyone loves it, and it's good to be in the number. Okay. The Heir by Kira Cass. So 3 stars. So a continuation of America's story, and it's following her daughter, who is the heir. and their family. And you know, Elin is very much giving I'm entitled and I don't care. In her defense, she is a princess. She was born into royalty. She was born into accessibility. She's really doesn't really understand the plight of the people. Probably the most obnoxious YA character I've ever read on page. And I was like, girl, could you just not be a snob today? Just try it one day, see how it goes. I did like the fact that everybody around her said that to her. This is for her behavior, her snarkiness, her rash decisions that she would make. She was trying to make a sincere effort, but so it's clearly is setting her up for a very big character arc in the next book, The Crown. And so I'm curious to see where it lands. But out of all of the selection books I've read so far, this is my least favorite, but it was still a good time. I'm glad she had people around her to tell her the truth, because girl, if it fall, this was a DNF. At full intent of reading this book. This is one of Skye's favorite authors. This is the author that wrote the Divergent series, which one of the best YA dystopian series I have read. I loved Divergent. Skye and I bonded over that series, and Veronica Roth is the author of that series in birthday month. And I was like, I gotta read her favorite author in her birthday month. And so, but unfortunately, this was just not it. This was a alternate universe retelling of Antigone, which is like a Greek tragedy. So on the onset, you know, you're dealing with incest and war and politics. So I was like, okay, there's probably going to be some remnants of that because we're following Antigone and her brother. But then it just takes a deep dive into like soul transferences, and there is a sapphic same-sex scene and relationship, and I mean all this in the first 20%. And it's a no for me. It's a no. Yeah, no thank you. Last but not least, Feet in High Places. I am thoroughly enjoying this book. I have about a couple of chapters left. I foresee that this is going to have a beautiful thought-provoking ending. I have thoroughly enjoyed reading through this series, reading through this book, and seeing the allegory of faith and the walk of the believer, the triumph, the struggle, and how the Lord is there with us. He is in front of us. He is the light to our path, and he's also protecting us. He's the grace and the mercy. He is our keeper as well. And so this has just been such a wonderful experience to read. It was great being on the live discussions with Krista. So I will definitely link the playback down below. By the time you see this, chat, it's well into September, maybe even October. But if you by chance pick up this book, it's there as a resource, and we had wonderful thought-provoking discussions, and I'm just so glad I was able to experience it with Krista and Katie and Chantel and Oceana, and it's just a wonderful time. It was a wonderful time, and the live chat was in the chat. Being my favorite book of August. I don't know what actually ends up being my favorite book at the time of this filming, because girl, we just out here in faith. We'll figure it out when it's time to figure it out. Favorite verses. The beauty of this book is perfect to read for spring, summer, and maybe a little bit of fall too. One of the main themes that I picked up from this was that the things that we go through in our lives are lessons that the Lord is teaching us, that the Lord has an expected end for us, that he has given us hope, but there is a process to that, and it's for us in the process to see who he has made us to be. He knows who we are. He knows who he made you to be. He knows your beginning from the end. But in this life, the life is for us to live that out and to see who we will be at the end. And so it is so encouraging, albeit the main character, Much Afraid, is very much afraid, but even seeing her grow and be tested and have such love and adoration for the shepherd, who is an allegory for Christ, that he is the pursuit, he is the end, and all other things fade away but for the love and the security of Christ. And that's what we are all in pursuit of, and I thank the Lord for that. So fantastic, and definitely check this out. I want to extend thank you to Tammy at Protagonist Pub for sending me a birthday gift. Oh my gosh, this was so well needed. Today was a pretty rough day for your girl. Like, mentally, it was a bit of a struggle. I was in the fight of faith. Can you relate? And Tammy, this was a balm in my heart, exactly what I needed, and I didn't even know, but the Lord knew. So thank you so much for thinking of me. Your generosity is just, girl, thank you so much. You guys go check Tammy out. She reads a lot of fantasy and sci-fi and some historical fiction. She reads a mix of a lot of good books. And so yeah, you guys go ahead and check her channel out. The Well by Stephanie Lansom. And y'all know The Woman at the Well is literally one of my favorite passages of scripture. And in the book of John, which is one of my favorite gospels, had this on my wish list forever. Like, it was at the bottom. Okay, so Tammy, you girl, beautiful magnetic bookmarks too, which I'm in my magnetic bookmark phase. Okay, Choose Joy, that one. It's the Choose Joy for me. Thank you so much, Tammy. This was incredibly gracious of you. May the Lord bless and keep you, girl. I appreciate you. I've thoroughly enjoyed my reading the past few days. What's on deck? I don't know yet. I'll stay tuned to the vlog. I know there is a YA trash out there. There's a YA trash somewhere for me to find. I'm gonna find it. No, I'm thinking of you and I'm praying for you. May the Lord bless and keep you. May his face shine upon you. May he give you hope and peace for the days and the times ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.